what we've got is rough budgetary tools. We are not trying to make SignAgent like the be all and end all of budgeting and financial information. We're not going to break down like labor costs versus different kinds of material costs. This is really good just for getting an estimate, especially at the beginning of a project, if you're managing a large number of signs. So let's take a look at the actual nuts and bolts of this. We are looking at this same organization again. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to edit one of these sign types. And at the bottom there, there's a field called unit cost. And that's going to be just the cost that we associate with this sign. As I said, we don't do a further breakdown. This is pretty generic and high level. And when we do an export, there are a couple of exports that can include information about that cost. So by default, the Excel message schedule is going to include that information in its own tab. But we've also prepared a budgetary report custom PDF that is going to have more information about this. So it has information about the type of sign, how much it costs, the total costs, and then the total costs for all the signs that we're going to export on. So when we run this export, it's worth remembering that whatever we have selected in our left-hand sidebar is what gets included in that report. So in this case, we want to say that we have these 4 different types of signs, and they're all located on level 1, and we're going to run an export based off that, and those are the costs that we're going to get. So here's that Excel message schedule. We can see a breakdown of everything that we've got. It's all in Excel again, so it's easy to manipulate if we want to change that data around or want to do any data manipulation. And then we're also going to take a look at the custom report that we just ran, where we can put in other information, as Jeff was saying. So here we have examples of the artwork, and we also have those total costs. So let's take the total cost from this estimated project. Turns out we're okay with that. So we're going to grab all those signs, put them in a new project, and we're going to assign a budget to them. So coming back to SignAgent, we're going to create that new project. And we're going to super creatively name it new project in this case. And once that's set up, we're going to come to the little budget tab at the top, and we're going to say that that was roughly $9,000 when we ran that report. And so that's going to be the budget for this project. Now, what we're going to do is take all of those signs that we just said, hey, this is our budget for them, and we're going to move them into this project. So we're going to select all of those, and we're going to move them from the demo stadium that we have right now into this new, refurbishment project, for example. So while that's all happening behind the scenes, I'm going to show you the overview that we get now. So if I right click on a project and I click view overview, I'm now going to see, here's our budget. Here's how it's changed over time. Here's how we're tracking to it. Here's where all the sign states are. And though there's not a ton of information in here yet, here's how many signs that there are, and here's how those break down over time. So for example, we can see that we had this huge number of signs that were part of a survey, and then we actually removed a number of signs as a part of this project. We said, hey, we don't need to have these as a part of the scope. Maybe they were good as they are. Maybe they don't need to be updated, or maybe we're just getting rid of them. Either way, the number of signs actually go down, and our number of signs remain pretty constant, but we can see that we start having other states occupy more and more of that total percentage. And so as we complete the project, this completed color will slowly grow to overtake everything. Again, not a in-depth and super granular review, but really good for high project overviews, understanding what kind of financial implications this is going to have right from the get-go and quickly reporting on it.